Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I would like to start with asking you a question. When you look at the recent events, well, actually, let's say at the events that are taking place since at least 2020, when a lot of people are waking up to how the reality they are living has been manipulated, or maybe perhaps even scripted, don't you see that a lot of events that are unfolding have already been presented in the movies, TV series, pretty much scripted? So today, I would like to bring to your attention a script, actually two scripts. One will be regarding Greenland, that Trump is willing to purchase or take over. I don't know how this will unfold. And the other script is related to capturing Maduro, the president of Venezuela. Because when you look at this entire kidnapping president of Venezuela situation, he was changing the outfits, the parade, having him in the car and parading him through New York City. All of that looked very weird, almost like kind of a movie set, and it was very, very suspicious as far as how much of it is real and how much of it is staged and CGI, artificial intelligence, or any of that. So we're going to look into this today in the second part of the video. The first part of the video, I would like to go back to Steve Witkoff, who is the special envoy in Trump's administration to solve the conflicts between Russia and Ukraine, and also in the Middle East. And Jared Kushner, who does not need much introduction, married to Ivanka Trump, very much lizard looking, in my opinion. And the master plan, because as many of you know, we're going to start with this video. A quick reminder, there was a master plan before the Gaza destruction. Now, he was also, I'm talking about Witkoff as well as Kushner, they were also visiting France, Paris, and they were present, interesting, right? During those talks with Zelensky and Macron, as well as Keir Starmer, I think. So we're going to look into that. We're going to hear a few words from Steve Witkoff, because the master plan about Ukraine is also going to come to fruition. And I will remind you again a video that I was playing a while back. What is the plan? What is the plan for Ukraine for 2030 that was announced a while back? But of course, you know, they are not presenting the great new Israel Khazaria 2.0 plan. They are presenting the other plan. So we're going to look into it. I think we're going to start with this, and let me see what else I have for you today, guys. 1 second. And also we're going to look into silver in Venezuela, and has Venezuela successfully transferred silver to Russia and China? So before we start, as always, I would like to say thank you to Alexander, Ray, Martin, James. I think those are the people, yes, who has donated on my PayPal yesterday. And thank you so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it, guys. As well to all of you who are interested in purchasing my book, #1 for children, Matilda's and Odo's Adventures. Beautiful book for kids, great gift. Even if you don't have children, I'm absolutely sure they will love the story and illustration, and more books are coming very soon. The link to how to order it is down below the video in the description box. So let's start with this, guys. Also, I want to ask you, because videos are very suppressed lately due to the topics, if you appreciate the content, if you do, make sure to hit the thumbs up and check your subscription. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. So let's start with this reminder. The reminder is an interview that I have played in parts before, at least once, if not twice, that was given on 60 Minutes, and that was Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. So let's start with that moment when they are discussing the master plan.
And so I had this sort of moment with him.
Well, part of the plan is the reconstruction, the building, rebuilding of Gaza. And you're builders, you've been in real estate. As you said, it's extremely complex. Tell us more about the plan and how much it's going to cost. Where's the money going to come from? And who's going to award the contracts? 3 questions.
I think it's going to cost a lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
You know, the estimates are in the $50 billion range. It might be a little bit less. It might be a little bit more. I happen to think that that's not a lot of money in that region. You have governments that are going to jump on in. And
so the Middle East countries are going to provide the money.
What you'll see European participation and so forth. I think the beginning of this plan is how to get it going. And that's what me and Jared work on all the time. The money raising, we think, is the easy part. We think that happens relatively quickly, but it's the master plan. And we're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So there are plans already.
Yeah. We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, and Jared's been pushing this and we're working together on it. And I think if the world saw the progress so far, they'd be pretty impressed.
Yeah, so basically over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of organizations that have been trying to determine what happens after the war. What's clear right now is we're very much focused on the humanitarian and the deconfliction to make sure that the aid can get to the people. And
deconfliction, because they're still shooting over there.
So you have to make sure that we're dealing with both sides and sending messages so that you don't let embers become little fires that become forest fires. So we're working on deconfliction, humanitarian aid.
Right now, you have Gaza.
All right, so they've mentioned that master plan. That master plan, very much likely, is not just, as I've mentioned before as well, it's not just about the Gaza situation. It's also about Ukraine situation, because the Great New Israel Project, those 2 conflicts, and there will be more coming, as well as Iran very soon, stay tuned. They are both part of the Great New Israel Project, and the migration and the new borders and Israel taking over. And we will touch on that before I end this video, with the conference that took place in 1800s, the first Zionist conference, and what was discussed over there. So guys, don't you think that it's very interesting that Jared Kushner has been lately following Witkoff everywhere, to Moscow. As you can see now, it will be to Paris, to those meetings when they discuss that new realities, in this case, for Ukraine. So let's take a listen what Witkoff has to say, who, by the way, looks like he's under the boot of Kushner. That's how I feel like. It's almost he is being monitored by Jared Kushner, who has such a dark energy that is almost hard to look at, not to even listening to him. Let's take a listen to what Witkoff said during those meetings in Paris. What is the future for Ukraine?
Monsieur l'envoyé spécial, Steve Witkoff, Monsieur Jared Kushner.
Hello. So my name is Steve Witkoff. Hello, everybody. President Macron, I want to thank you for your hospitality. You're an incredible man, and thank God for you. And President Zelensky, I want to thank you for your commitment to the peace here, your team. You have an outstanding team, and it's our privilege to work on this endeavor. I want to be clear that Jared and I have been working with Ambassador Kushner for close to 10 hours today, and we'll be meeting with the Ukrainian delegation this evening, continuing that work.
Before I continue with this video, why he said working with Ambassador Kushner, because father of Jared Kushner is the ambassador to the United States stationed in Paris, in France, who, by the way, has been involved in many things that were not, let's put it this way, not the right things. But nevertheless, he became the ambassador in France to the United States. So let's continue, because that is important.
Because President Trump's mandate is that he wants a peace in Ukraine. And we are determined on his behalf to do everything possible to attain that peace. A lot of progress began first in Geneva. We made tremendous progress there. We moved on to Berlin. Lots of progress happened there. And as President Zelensky identified, we had a very compelling meeting in Mar-a-Lago. And we look forward to more progress as a result of everything that's occurred today. We think we're largely finished with security protocols, which are important so that the people of Ukraine know that when this ends, it ends forever. But we also think, critically, that we are very, very close to finishing up as robust a prosperity agreement as any country has ever seen coming out of conflicts like this. It will aspirationally mean large, large possibilities for the Ukrainian people, for people coming home from war who will find wonderful jobs out there. We're working with BlackRock, Larry Fink in this endeavor, and we think it's going to be very, very important for the people of Ukraine. And we believe that a robust economy correlates and works directly with these security protocols. It makes Ukraine a strong, independent nation. And we think that's really important in terms of the long-term future. Jared and I are prepared to do anything necessary to work with our European colleagues. Prime Minister Starmer, you've been incredible, as has Chancellor Merz, and all of the European nations who we met today, who we spoke with. It's all been an important meeting today, and we think we've made a lot of progress. We heard President Zelensky and some of the other people here talking about land options. That will be the most critical issue, and that's subject. And we're going to be continuing with those discussions, and hopefully we'll be able to meet or come up with certain compromises with regard to that. But I do want to say this. We are here to mediate and help in the peace process, and we're prepared to do anything necessary to get to that place. President Trump strongly, fervently believes that this killing has to stop, that the carnage has to stop. And we're determined, all of us up here, to be a part of that.
Nothing to add. That was perfectly said.
Okay. Thank you.
So what do you think are those amazing jobs and that bright future and that prosperity land that they had envisioned for Ukraine? Well, let me show you one more time the video that I have been presenting to you before. This has been put out a while back, I think actually even before the conflict has started in 2022. So this has been already scripted. Let's take a look and listen what future is already decided for Ukraine. Again, how the country of Ukraine will look like, I'm sure, you know, the great new Israel, the Khazaria 2.0, that will be decided exactly according to the ancient maps. And the rest, let's take a look. That's going to be Ukraine's story, part of the master plan.
Сьогодні вранці президент Путін оголосив проведення спеціальної військової операції на Донбасі. Росія здійснила удари по нашій військовій інфраструктурі.
Let's look 8 years ahead. 2030. The history of the new Ukraine is studied all over the globe. Why? Because Ukraine became the most digital and convenient country in the world. Scripts have replaced bureaucrats. 500,000 former public servants are successfully integrated in the new economy. No more red tape, but paperless. No more banknotes, but cashless. Yes, we became the first country to abandon paper money. Ukraine now has the best tax system for the IT industry and the most affordable e-residency. Thanks to Ukrainian engineers and programmers, the R&D centers of the world's top technology companies operate successfully, and Ukraine ranks first in the world by the number of startups per capita. Ukrainian courts are guided by artificial intelligence, and all notarial acts take place online. Ukrainian customs is fully automatic and the fastest in the world. Customs clearance and car registration can now be done in 3 clicks from your smartphone. Because of war and internal migration, we have built the most flexible and modern digital education. Brave military and civilians get quality treatment with modern remote monitoring and e-health systems. Ukraine also has the most effective cyber defense in the world. After the horrors of 2022, Ukraine focused on security systems. Now every production facility has its air defense system, and the sleep of Ukrainians is protected by an ultra-modern Iron Dome. The Ukrainian government is digital, more like an IT company in terms of the efficiency of implementing decisions, and one can register a land plot, start construction, open a business or get a license, and register a car or real estate from a smartphone, automatically, in 1 click. Ukraine is the freest and digital. This is all because international partners and the world's leading technology companies supported the Digital for Freedom initiative and united to help Ukraine recover through digitalization. Building a new Ukraine together, free and the fastest, brave and digital.
Digital for freedom, right? It's kind of like an oxymoron. I'm sure BlackRock will execute this and few other companies as well. So that is also part of the master plan. And in my opinion, each time when we see Witkoff and Kushner traveling together somewhere, that means that the end to the military conflicts are very close. And the new era of the digital slavery and Orwellian reality is also getting closer, because those business deals that you see are going to take place in Gaza as well as in Ukraine are part of that money-making machines and digital control future. Just my opinion. So when you see those two traveling together, that is a sign that perhaps, very much likely, the military conflict is going to come to an end very, very soon, because they have to jump to the next stage of that master plan. We have 2026. They have to make sure that Israel is positioned the right way. So since we are on that, let's look into this information, and then we are going to look into the silver story, because another reason why Maduro is no longer president of Venezuela is because of the silver situation, especially with JP Morgan. So we're gonna look into the video. Someone will explain it to us who knows much more than I do. All I know for sure that precious metals are the way. It's better to keep cash in gold and silver instead of keeping it in the bank, because it might come a moment when you will not be able to actually withdraw your money, and the value itself, it's going down so quickly that it just does not make any sense whatsoever. So let's take a look at this post, guys. Let me show you, because I'm not sure if this is legit, but could be. So let's just take a look. Okay, here it is. So you have a picture of Maduro and Putin, and what does it say? Venezuela successfully transferred 1,200 tons of silver, gold, and 10 billion US dollar assets wealth to Russia and China hours before US arrested Maduro. I don't know if this is true or not, but I want to read it. And then if you know more about it, please let me know what you know in the comment section. Reports indicate that Venezuelan authorities moved large quantities of precious metals and financial assets abroad shortly before US authorities announced actions targeting President Nicolas Maduro. The transfers reportedly involved Russia and China as destination partners. According to analysts, shifting gold, silver, and cash reserves overseas might have been intended to protect national assets from potential seizure or restrictions. Such moves are often used by sanctioned states to preserve access to hard assets. Neither Russia or China has publicly confirmed the receipt of the assets referenced in the reports. Venezuelan officials have also not released detailed documentation verifying the scale of timing of the transfers. US officials have not publicly disclosed whether these assets movements affected enforcement outcomes. Experts say tracking sovereign asset flows is complex and often relies on intelligence rather than public records. All right, so let's take a listen to the story about Venezuela and silver. This guy explains it pretty well, how this is all connected with JP Morgan and the current silver market. So let's take a listen.
Did I tell you people? They invaded Venezuela because JP Morgan's silver short position blew up. When I first learned that JP Morgan inherited Bear Stearns' short silver position, silver was at $13 and that position was $1.5 trillion. So with silver at $76, that position is now $8.8 trillion. At $75 is 117 billion ounces of silver. The JP Morgan is short. So here they are building a smelter in Tennessee. Tennessee does not even produce silver, and they're building the smelter with the Department of Defense. Why is JP Morgan partnering with the Department of Defense? Because the dollar blew up. Yes, and they need to store the silver that they're going to steal from Venezuela in those lime caves in Tennessee. Venezuela does not produce a lot of silver, but it has the potential to produce a lot of silver. So that is what's going on. Now look at the numbers. A $7.4 billion smelter facility. 7 equals 20, 4 equals 24, which is what? 44. They say that JP Morgan has 750 million ounces of silver in their warehouses. They've always had that. You have to have a big physical position if you're going to have a massive short position. 7 equals 20. 5 equals 24, which is 44. And look what they say. This new Tennessee smelting facility is going to make 75 jobs for Americans. 7 equals 20, 5 equals 24, which is 44. This is the occult, people. The dollar blew up. The silver short position that JP Morgan inherited from Bear Stearns was 1.5 trillion. So with silver at $75, that's about $8.8 trillion now. $8.8 trillion worth of silver is about 117 billion ounces that we are short silver. And they say JP Morgan has 750 million ounces. Yeah, that's a slight difference. That is why we broke into Venezuela, to steal their.
So what do you think? Does he make any sense? Do you think that is also legit? Because we know what's going on with silver, and without shadow of a doubt, this year, 2026, absolutely, I know that silver will be over $100 per ounce. I think actually it might reach maybe $200 per ounce. We will see, but we are now around 70, I think $375, something like that, or maybe more. It was $80 not a long time ago. So let me know what you think. Now, let's go to the original question that I had in the beginning of this video, and that is, are we watching as some kind of movie scripted a while back? Because here is another video you're going to hear from this guy. I showed you him before. He's going to present to you the screenplay for the Greenland situation that actually has been already presented in the movies. And also he will touch on the script that was about capturing, I don't know if they said Maduro, but capturing the dictator. I believe it was really about Maduro in Venezuela. So what are we really leaving, guys? Are we leaving some form of script? Because, you know, as they plan, the dark ones, right? They plan much more in advance. So let's take a listen to this guy, because this is really getting crazier and crazier every single day.
Once, and I'll say it again, it's always in the movies. Now, there's been a ton of talk lately from the White House about Trump purchasing Greenland and making it the 51st state of America. Now, reason being, he said it's for national security because of growing tensions from foreign entities. But let's not forget that Greenland has 25 of the 34 minerals that are deemed critical raw materials, which include copper, diamond, gold, graphite, iron ore, nickel, just to name a few. But here's where it gets weird. Can anybody tell me why there is a movie coming out on January 9th called Greenland? And if you guys notice on the movie posters, it has these 4 cities: Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, and Chicago. Now, what is this movie about? So this was a sequel to part 1 that came out in 2020, and it reads, in the aftermath of a comet that decimates most of the planet, the Garrity family must leave the safety of their Greenland bunker to traverse a shattered world in search of a new home. So we're talking about bunkers and national security. This is all starting to make sense, but it gets even weirder, you guys. So it's not just the movies, it's the video games as well. So this game called Call of Duty Ghosts comes out in 2013, right? Now, what is this game about? So this game takes place in 2026, where a special unit called Ghosts goes to Caracas, Venezuela to capture a dictator. Now, this game came out in November of 2013, which is the same year that Maduro took power. Now, if that's not weird enough for you, right before Maduro gets caught on January 3rd, the co-founder of Call of Duty dies in a car crash December 21st. But wait, hold up. So you mean to tell me the co-founder of Call of Duty dies, then 13 days later, Maduro gets caught, in which the game is about him getting caught, and the game comes out on a 13th year. He takes power on a 13th year, and the founder becomes literally a ghost. What? Simulation complete. I have no idea what to make of all this, but make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, and let me know what you guys.
So you might say it's just coincidence and this and that. Well, I don't believe in coincidences anymore. It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. So let's take a look at the trailer of this Greenland movie. Greenland Part 2. Let's take a look.
Space Agency is tracking the fragment. They're predicting an extinction level event. The greatest chance of survival are the bunkers in Greenland. Go, go, go!
Listen, Lisa, it doesn't matter what happens, because we're always going to be together.
Everybody says that this is a new normal. For those we've lost. So we're going on 5 years now, so it isn't all that new. It definitely ain't normal.
I hate this place. All right, come here.
Listen, bud, I know it's tough being stuck down here. It's too dangerous outside.
Be advised, we've got a radiation storm north of your location.
Open the door! Get it open!
Our situation is getting worse. Do we think there's anywhere that's safe from all of this?
We believe the crater walls prevent the radioactive storms from forming, making it a safe zone.
There could be breathable air, drinkable water.
It's in southern France. How exactly are we going to get there?
We can't stay here, honey. We didn't come all this way for this. I want a new beginning for our family.
Okay, the Clark crater is our best bet.
How many fragments do you think are up there?
More than I can count. It's crazy to think something so beautiful can be so deadly.
Where are we?
Everyone looks so lost.
We gotta go! Let's go! The world is a dangerous place now.
Well, what is that? Storm?
That's not a storm. Outside! Jump onto something! Half of his life has been surviving. We have to get to the crater. Don't look down. Hang on!
We're gonna keep going.
Oh my God! I'll take care of you both till my last breath.
So we need Greenland, Trump says. Well, I don't think it's really that much about the movie, but interesting, right? Very interesting. So what else has been scripted? How about we listen to another clip, and that is about the first Zionist meeting that took place in 1800s in Switzerland. So what they were discussing that much in advance for the future on this planet. Let's take a listen.
The world as we know it, wars, governments, geopolitical crises, you name it, are not just random happenings and never have been, okay? You need to understand they all follow a script. Everything is planned, okay? This isn't fear-mongering, this is spreading awareness. The closer and faster we come together, the better for humanity as a whole, okay? So please watch this.
1885, the Rothschilds were trying to start a world war because the Zionist International Congress at Basel, Switzerland, has called for 3 world wars. At the end of the Third World War, they would control the entire world. 1 billion Christians are fighting a war to the death against 1 billion Muslims, which will leave Israel in charge of the world, which was predicted at the 6th International Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland in 1896. So after the Zionist Congress in 1896, you had World War I, World War II, and now we have World War III. At the end of World War I, the Rothschilds organized a number of groups called, one was the Royal Institute of International Affairs in London. It's called Chatham House. And that is the think tank of all of Europe today. And although its headquarters in London, the real headquarters are in Brussels, which is the headquarters of the Lambert family, which is part of the Rothschild family. And there, Brussels has been running the world.
Hate to break it to you, okay?
So let's read this. Let's read this post. No surprise, this is actually Pax Judaica, Origins, History, Basel, Switzerland, late 19th century. In alternative history and geopolitical research circles, a recurring claim continues to resurface, the idea that many major global events are not entirely spontaneous, but instead shaped by long-term planning among powerful political, financial, and ideological actors. One of the most frequently cited, sorry if I mispronounce, references within this theory is a quote attributed to Albert Pike, allegedly written in a letter to Italian revolutionary Giuseppe Mazzini in the 1870s. According to the claim, Pike outlined a framework for 3 major global conflicts, each intended to reorganize political, religious, and economic power on a global scale. While the authenticity of the latter remains heavily disputed by historians, it continues to circulate widely in alternative research spaces. Supporters of this theory often connect these ideas to the Zionist Congress held in Basel in 1896, pointing to the period that followed World War I, then World War II, and what some now frame as the emergence of a third large-scale global conflict amid current geopolitical tensions. From this perspective, history is viewed less as a sequence of isolated events and more as a managed process shaped over generations. So let me know, guys, what you think. I think they have been scripting things for a very long time. It all seems so strange, so weird when you look at, for example, just lately Maduro being in different outfits, not original picture. You can tell it's artificial intelligence. Is it even him? Is he in New York? Is he in Miami now? Whatever is the case. So how much of it is true? How much of it is just a script and a shit show, I would say. We have to really use our discernment and not believe everything that we see as legit and truthful and real news, because I think majority of what we have been presented with is actually fake. However, whatever plans they have, I think they have real plans. Will they come to fruition? Well, Ukraine 2030, I think it will. And I think that the Great New Israel project, it's getting closer and closer to its almost final stages. But we still have to go through the Iran story, because I think Iran is next, and that will create an absolute chaos in that region that will also create more migration towards Europe. And I don't think they will just let it go, because Iran is important. They have to attack Iran and they have to have conflict there. That's all I have for you today, everyone. I will attach the links down below in the description box. So just scroll down under the video. To all of you who are watching and appreciate the content, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm, like I've mentioned that before. You can support my work by becoming my Patreon member or donating on PayPal. You can also join me on Locals, support me there. You can also purchase my book. This is the only product that I am selling. It's a wonderful book for children, beautifully illustrated, very inspiring story. It's not promoting pedophilia, by the way, as lately, you know, a lot of books are in, especially in the Western countries, right? So something that will be truly, truly with a good energy and great story for children to read and be inspired by. And you can follow me on Instagram as well. Actually, let me take you to my Instagram account. I would really appreciate if you follow me there. There are no politics on my Instagram. You only have my travels, including the recent one that I took on my birthday. So it's AniaK_44. Follow me here. I would really appreciate it, guys. Would like to have 10,000 followers this year, and I think we will get there. And that's all for today. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And please leave in the comment section, what do you think about all of it? As far as the scripts go, as far as the master plan goes, and as far as silver goes. See you in the next video. Bye, everyone.